380 something, 87 naira per liter. I listened to the discussions by Governor Fayemi, and I was just turning on my bed. For everything he said, you turn your tummy again. You know? Oh, that the refineries will be repaired and privatized or sold. I don't even know the language you used again. Oh, that fuel is crossing the border. Nigeria is the cheapest country where they sell fuel compared to Ghana, compared to Chad. No one is selling less than 400 naira a liter. There is corruption. Nigeria is not consuming more than up to 93 million liters per day. And therefore, it is either not coming in or it is being shipped outside Nigeria. For all those arguments that man put up, that man, I won't say the governor because I didn't see governor talking there. I saw a man talking. For all those statements he made, trying to move forward from 100 or something to 300 or something, I never saw where he talked about the ordinary people, other than that they will buy buses again that will carry them like cargo. So in other words, I should park my car and then be lowered to the level of now entering buses. Because at 300 or something naira per liter, many of us will start trekking. Our status will diminish. And then, even then, how many people can not pay transport? It will then be a question of fighting bus drivers, who obviously will have to transfer the cost to passengers. And then governors will now start forcing drivers not to increase price, not to do that. Do you know that they never mentioned in that briefing what will happen to the inflationary impact on the wages? What will happen to minimum wage? What will happen to skyrocketing of prices beyond even human imagination? You know what else they didn't imagine? They didn't imagine that they would devalue the currency again, and then 300 and something naira would now be like 80 something naira would then become like 50 naira in future. And then, they are still subsidizing. Fuel will now be 700 naira, 800 naira per liter. Because you have a crazy system which we have struggled very difficultly to explain to the Nigerian people. All these backyard economies of trying to get the Nigerian economy to stabilize, pay her debts, or get governors to spend and build what they like to build at the expense of the people. All those backyard economies, who does not know that this is how it will go? We discussed all this. I said it how many years ago that once they touch minimum wage, they must devalue currency, they must increase fuel price. The ruling class, they have no other idea how to cope with anything called wage increase. So, they give from the right hand, they take from the left hand. And then you see propaganda upon propaganda upon propaganda, misinforming the people, creating impression of people achieving dividends of democracy, all that. Meanwhile, Nigeria economy survives. I repeat, Nigeria economy survives by throwing more people into poverty. The people have always been the victim of the Nigerian ruling class since 1914. The kind of leap that these people are talking about from 100 or something to 3 is the highest imaginable. So in their vision, removal of subsidy doesn't mean prices fluctuating now. Removal of subsidy for price to reach 300 or something. Do you see the difference between subsidy removal and fixing a price at a skyrocket price? Is that how to remove subsidy? Do you remove subsidy by fixing price? You don't remove subsidy by fixing price. You remove subsidy by going to sleep. So if it costs 2 naira to bring fuel, they sell at how much If all of us stop buying, the prices will crash. That is what fixing of removal of subsidy means. So if you decide to sell it 300 or something, the Nigerian people can now decide that they will not buy fuel again. You will drink your fuel, price will crash. That's what it calls removal of subsidy. Pegging of price is not removal of subsidy. Go and tell the governors. The Professor Femi says pegging of price is not removal of subsidy. Pegging of price is actually manipulation of price. And they have always manipulated this price against the Nigerian people. Why I say Governors Forum and I'm interested in this issue of Governors Forum is that it has no party link. It is both PDP and APC. So it's not a question of PDP or no APC because of it's APC. No, Governors Forum is PDP, APC, and then APGA. They're all in Governors Forum. What does that tell you? As I was coming to the studio, somebody made a remark that I liked. That APC and PDP are like two different supermarkets. So what you don't find in one, you see in the other one. What you don't see in this one, you see in the other one. So it depends on what you are looking for. I noted that analogy. When it comes to this issue of fuel management, fuel pricing, APC and PDP are actually the same. Because it's this idea of we are subsidizing. They have defined subsidy in a way that it can never end. It has never ended. It will end though. It will not end. Have I not in theory put out how to deal with this issue of fuel pricing? Have I not in theory said until you produce locally and sufficiently and begin to export petroleum products, you can't imagine that you are dealing with anything. Look at them talking about landing cost. Landing cost means the importation culture. Governors are talking about landing costs. Not traders, so policy makers who should end importation through obvious public policies that I can outline here. And so that the natural pricing of petrol can be in favor of the ordinary people. They refuse to do what is necessary. They are giving us voodoo economics. Well, I don't want, I try to be peaceful in my attitude to this program, but I'm scared that if fuel price becomes 300 or something, I will not be able to come to the studio again, because the reaction is not the kind of thing that is compatible with this program I'm running. I don't want to be part of the problem of Nigeria, but the politicians, governors should also not be part of the problem of Nigeria. Obviously, they are now going to be a major problem. It's no longer presidency imposing it on them. It is governors now demanding it, throwing their weight so that more money can come to them. Oh, that the people are benefiting from subsidy are the rich ones, not the poor people. The poor people are people they will give buses. How many buses have survived that policy since 1999? How many buses? Maybe Lagos State is trying. Apart from Lagos State, how many states are surviving with public run transport that is good enough? You see? So, my point is that, have I not in this studio told you people how we can get refineries all over Nigeria? Your joint venture partners pass a decision, pass a law directing all of them as condition to continue to be joint partners to set up refineries. That Dangote option has become a political weapon. You can even see they're even telling him he has to sell international price. It is what they're selling in America, he will even sell. It's no longer how much we give in crude. If we decide to give in crude at 20 naira or 30 naira, he will then refine at that price so that crude prices will be reasonable. They're already telling him he has to sell at the price of importation, more or less. Get joint venture partners. When I leave studio, people say, "Oh, Prof, we had this today. Oh, is this today? Is that?" It's not about talking. It's about action. Action. The labor leaders, journalists. These ideas are for you to open your eyes so that it becomes a point of activism, leading to political decisions and changes. That's why I come here. I'm not coming here for the kind of lecture I give in university that ends up in people's brain and they carry it around for the rest of their life. I'm interested in effecting social change. So if you get joint venture people and partner with them, just like you do in drilling. You partner with them to set up refinery. You can easily have 10 massive refineries in less than 2 years. And with that, by the importation of fuel, you now run an economy that is self-controlled and self-directing, self-reliant to a degree. And with that, the pressure on the naira drops by more than 50%. I have talked to economists, I have talked to bankers. Most of your foreign currency goes to importation of fuel. Meanwhile, you are creating jobs in other countries. Unemployment is suffocating graduates and able-bodied men and women in this country. Meanwhile, you are creating. Do you know how much employment you create by importation of fuel? The Nigerian ruling class connived and set up a refinery in Niger, and they were even importing fuel from Niger. See, let me tell you, today I came into studio very angry, but I'm struggling to control myself. I'm struggling to control myself because the madness is reaching a level where I don't even know what will happen to my brain soon. In whose name are these false prophets taking decisions, taking the wrong decision? In whose names are they leading our people to Armageddon? In whose name? Where reason leads us, they don't follow them. They follow where emotions and power, aggression tells them. So you want to tell us that make it a 380 something naira per liter, nothing will happen. We are governors. What can they do? If they do anything, we send police and soldiers after them. No, soldiers and policemen, they're also Nigerians. If fuel increase, we also ruin their salaries, their incomes. So I want to plead with the Nigerian Governors Forum. They have not reasoned well. Their solution did not address the problem. They are worsening it. Since I'm in Rivers State, I want to use Governor Wike, Nyesom Wike, as our contact with the Nigerian Governors Forum. Part of your problem, governors, is that you don't want knowledge to guide you people. You have knowledge in the universities. You have knowledge in selected groups. Those people don't influence people. You are not interested. It is those backyard thinkings that you have. How much are they sharing? How can you increase? Remove subsidy. Where is the subsidy? Okay, make it 380 something. Let more money come to us. That is indirect taxation. What you are saying is that you want to indirectly tax Nigerians to have money to spend because you cannot pay 30,000 naira. If as far as I'm concerned, there is no government work again. No, at the level of minimum wage and what's going on. If you're thinking you're working for government, you're wasting time. You better begin to think about how to survive, because the way wages are going, especially for the lower ranks, don't think you're earning 30,000, therefore you are working for government. Think of what to do so that the truth comes out. There is no lower earning government worker any longer. What will you do with 30,000? Go and check many of the things that now go for 20,000. How much is a basin of Gary now? 7,000. So you buy four basins of Gary, you have taken care of your salary for 1 month. Where will transport come from? Where will your medicals come from? Where will your children's school fees come from? That is where we are as a society. So the situation is not looking bright. I end that discussion there and then go to where we are, because we are at the level where we agree that all these problems I'm raising so far, the root cause of them, the root cause where the major challenge lies is in our politics. Because if you don't fix politics, economies cannot be fixed. Part of the challenge you are having is that a significant portion of Nigeria is redundant productively. A major portion, maybe half or slightly less than half, is so unstable now that it is the rest that carries them going. That is part of the problem. Productivity has dropped in a significant portion of Nigeria. Northeast, for example, is almost contributing 0%, and yet you have millions of Nigerians there. They have used crisis to become not part of the Nigerian economy any longer. You see? Part of the Northeast, part of the North Central, and painfully now, increasingly southeast is joining the regions where economic activities are now being threatened. So the only thing we sell out is crude. So from crude, anyhow you want to do it, combination of factors, that is where all of us will go and put our head and die. Through fuel importation, we will die. Crude oil says whatever comes is not enough, we will die. Because as a people, we can't see the relationship between economic activities and stable politics. Have I not said, and is anybody doubting that we don't have a democracy? Is there anybody that is saying that we have a democracy? So, democracy in the pure sense, we don't. We even have to have a state before we talk about democracy. That is why the point made earlier by one of our contributors 2 weeks ago about the need for a sovereign national conference becomes inevitable. With all the crisis upon crisis, unstable economies, economy, mass poverty, everything I can imagine. People come to me, so Prof, please, when you go to studio, remind Governor Wike that parts of Ogoni, there is still crisis, violence, killings, Andoni is going down, part of this, part of that. They're giving me names I cannot recall in studio. But they let me know that the hinterlands of River State require the attention of the governor, that life is in many of those communities are no longer stable or even possible. I said, no, I think that the governor should know. Why would the governor not know where there is instability in River State? It is for him to do his best. You see, so please, I will open studio today because the issues we are discussing today, I don't want to spend too much time and talk about politics, because the way we are now, we must agree as a people that we are at a precipice. Those who speak English, we are at a danger point. We are at a cliff where we can easily fall into the ocean and nobody will recover us. Remember that I've cautioned all of us always that Nigeria is a sinking ship. If we do what we can to save it, so that the rest of us can have reason to be proud to be Nigerians. If we don't, the sink will sink. And we know when they sink ships, in many cases, everybody there goes. Few people will survive, and the few people will be like 1% of those in the ship. So let's be careful. Let's be careful. When you have a challenge, national challenge, you bring it up for discussion. Governors, bring up the challenge that made you to take that decision to the ordinary people. Let them decide what they want. Power is not yours. Top-down decision on the issue of fuel subsidy is politically criminal. It is the people, present the people. Present your issues before the people. The people can contribute their wages and build refineries and then become shareholders in those refineries. You don't know that people can construct refineries through sacrifice and then become owners of those things? You don't know? Or that option is not good for people because it will empower Professor Femini. It will empower the ordinary people. It is the one that you people do the way you like, that you people want, that creates social stratification, creates criminal social inequality. That's the one that you people like. It's not the one that liberates the ordinary people. Well, you people have no choice. The stage we have reached is the stage of no return. The revolutionary pressures are on and we cannot avoid it. I want to open the line. The numbers are 0817 0000 40951. 0817 40951. The second number is 0810 9510 951. The second number again is 0810 9510 951. So the lines are now open. Hello.
Good morning, my bro.
Good morning.
Chimeze from from Port Harcourt.
Okay, welcome. Honorable, welcome.
Yes, I want to thank you once again, and I'm happy that my friend Kalada is in the studio listening to you. Because I have always talked about the foundation of Nigeria. That the Bible says, if the foundation is destroyed, what should the righteous do? Prof, you are aware that Britain bequeathed to Nigerian rulers who are ignorantly or erroneously called leaders the tendency of forcing things on the people. Like you mentioned, they can't discuss. All they need is they will address the people, talking to the people, without talking with the people. They want to enforce everything by all means, whether by their political power or they use the police and army. The people they call security agents that are supposed to protect the people. They are the ones oppressing the people to the point that, Prof, are you aware that this terrible, tragic death that occurred yesterday, that a lot of people are celebrating, while the Nigerian nation supposed to, Nigerian country supposed to be in the mood of mourning? Why? Because the politicians have used the mentality of the Britain to be forcing the security agents against the people, and the people are not happy. My prof, Nigeria has crumbled itself because Britain configured a place, a contraction that is against itself, according to Dumaken. Thank you very much. Prof.
Thank you. Yeah, so I want to believe that the reason we are putting this program across is because we believe that there are historical errors from the amalgamation of Nigeria to today. So many things were not put right, and we are believing that they can be put right. But for this moment, I am worried about the kind of catastrophe that is about to befall us in the name of an economic policy that governors called removal of fuel subsidy. That is the one that is bothering me today. Because the arguments, I don't agree 1 second with any of the arguments. Hello? Hello? Good morning. Good morning.
Prof, I thank you so much because sometimes when I talk about the constitution of Nigeria, I say, why is it that Prof is not here? Give us a philosophical view, and I pray that Prof must be there when the review of Nigerian constitution will be there. My name is Promise Walker. I'm calling from Elelalo.
Welcome,
now,
welcome.
Prof, problem of Nigeria is so longer than from here to United States of America. Because when we talk about governor's forum, what is governor's forum? Something that is not in constitution. A group of people have decided to come together and talk things that will benefit themselves. And who are the people? APC and PDP. These are governor's forum. Now, this is when they will come together for something that they will deal with the people. They are coming together. So if it is an issue that will help the people, you will see them running head and scatter. They cannot come together. Now, what are the ways and the channel of communication that you can communicate to the government to come to your aid? The primary way of the channel of communication is the way the labor unions are doing, coming with their placards. Even as they are doing it, they are not getting any response. If you carry on, problem. If you come with a placard, problem. How do you address the issue of the people? Now, Prof, what is the policy? What is the political equation? Politics has to do with authoritative allocation of value. Who gets what, when and how. These are what is called policies. It is quite unfortunate that those of them who are doing politics did not read political science. The only thing they know is the Machiavelli theory, the way they will deal with people and how they will suppress people. Prof.
Wages. It is in the Nigerian Labour Congress that must do analysis, get scholars, and they come up with a blueprint on what needs to be done for wages to be properly placed in this country. I've never been involved. I've never seen where they have done that. It's just me too. Minimum wage should be 100,000. This that. Tomorrow they increase fuel price and ruin it because they are not addressing the real issues. So I'm a critic of the Nigerian Labour Congress. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You are doing well.
Welcome.
My name is Chile Edwin.
Hello, welcome.
I'm calling you from Port Harcourt.
Welcome.
You see, I think that I have always said this, that anything we do in this country without placing our problems on the desk of these governors, it's just thinking about the bush, because our major problem is governors. We don't have any other problem because they are not ready to generate wealth. They are not ready to contribute anything, just to go to Abuja, collect money, come here and dig gutter for us and share the money, the profit to themselves. We have no other things to do. They have decided to deal with the people, punish us, steal our commonwealth, and we keep clapping for them. We are the people that eulogize them every day on the air, do all manner of things. I don't know when we are going to come out of this, my prof. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Say they dig gutter for us. You see, development is about human beings. Let me remind all of us. Development is about what is happening to human beings. And international bodies have set standards for measuring societies that are developing. Projects, anything you do that you call project, must impact on human beings in terms of providing quality housing, quality healthcare, quality education, and quality leisure time, employment, everything about man, feeding and everything. So I want to say that whatever that we want to see happen, we must carry the governors along. I'm only saying that we need to carry them along. We need to pressure them to do the right things. Because as I speak to you now, they're almost on their own. You just wake up and address press conference, and what is coming out from your press conference is, to say the least, horrible. And they say, oh, they came out of conference. This one is a member of the committee. That one is a member of the committee. That one is a member of the committee. Maybe marketers are even using them to to be their spokesmen. You don't even understand what must have gone wrong. Hello.
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 Yeah, good morning, Prof.
Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, Prof. You are doing well. I recommend you for that. I wish we have people like you, let's say up to 100 in this country as a whole. I strongly believe that what is happening in Nigeria will not happen, because you see this country, see most of these our governors, they are a problem. Thank God that many people, even I myself, I strongly believe our governors are the problem. They are the problem of this country. Even though that he is the president, yes, it's him that everybody is looking onto. But the governors and the ministers, they are, in fact, I don't know the type of word I will use to compare them, because Nigeria has gone. If I'm not mistaken, Nigeria has gone and to return back. I strongly understand and hope there is one guy which many people don't even like his name or to hear his name, but what he is saying and what he has said before, if I compare and contrast, I would strongly believe that those things he said those days is actually the truth, and will need the truth. Cannot be dead from the truth. So I'm sorry for Nigerians. I myself, I'm not a Nigerian. I'm not a Nigerian.
You're a Nigerian. That is even why you're cautious on the fact you're not a Nigerian. You're a Nigerian. When I teach my students, I say sometimes I say your country, they say, Prof, our country. I say no, you're a country. So denying Nigeria doesn't make you. See, our goal is to make Nigeria better. It's so sad that we expected a lot of political reforms that will carry the people along and then make Nigeria a democracy. Once we're a democracy, all this is you are seeing will disappear. It is because there are gatekeepers resisting democratization. Democracy is under assault in Nigeria, and this is very painful. You will think, oh, they have military people have gone, they have given us an opportunity to self-rule, and therefore those things we are not doing as a country, we will now begin to do them so that we will now become the example of the other parts of the world. No, we are not. And I've said that international capital is so sensitive to conducive environment for it to thrive, such that if the environment is not conducive like it is in Nigeria, international capital will not come. Most part of the north cannot attract one naira investment, and that is why they rely almost 120% on federal government expenditure in the north to survive today, because the other alternatives of generating revenues for survival is completely in ruins. Even farmers cannot farm without fear, without threat to their existence. So those are the issues, and it is now coming down to the south. It is now in the southeast, so we have to work very quickly and hard. Yes, hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, doing well.
Thank you.
I think the problem of Nigeria, particularly, we are yet to be sophisticated currently, because we don't understand the meaning of democracy. If we do, I think the citizens supposed to be first of all. They are the first people of the nation is supposed to take care of. And things are going anyhow in the country. You see, the politicians are doing what they want. You see, the governor may just wake up one day and say, I want this to happen. Instantly it happens. And are they God? They are not God. They are not God. Even God said, don't take decisions like that. So I don't know why things are happening like this. It's very bad, seriously.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The issue now is we must make progress. I'm saying that we have every opportunity to put our house in order. The economic decisions of the last few days is wrong. The alternatives I have lined up here. Remember that there are people who think that the economy must serve them, including banks, who are not allowing the mode of production to be altered in favor of the ordinary people. Setting up massive farms, in mechanized agriculture, setting up massive farms in animal husbandry, fisheries, setting up massive farms for fruits and all that, and then have targeted production in cotton, coffee, palm produce, back to where we used to be, and then from there now gradually industrialize. Why can't governors meet and set themselves targets of production? That for Nigeria to be self-sufficient, we need to produce so volume or tons of cocoa. Or Ondo State, go and produce that. Or your state, produce this. Rivers, produce 200 tons of fishing, clams, and things like that. Why they not do that? If you borrow to do all these things I'm saying now, it is reasonable borrowing. It is borrowing that will change the economy for the good. You see? Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Grandpa.
Grandpa?
Grandpa, yes.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Only Grandpa that has been talking.
Grandpa, go ahead.
You see, I like the record of Prophet Salo Kusun, which were Nigeria.
Yeah.
Where are we going to? We blame the government, and when we are part of the government, but there's no individual is not a part. If you are not corrupt, and you go where that is starting to corrupt you. If you come out and you are not corrupt forever. However, what is happening now is so disturbing. I've been talking since 2000 through all corners, about Lagos, Abuja, everywhere. But there's no change. We are talking now. This month they're going to share 611 or 600 and something billion naira for all the federal government, the state and local government. I've been shouting, why not use a part of this money every month, either 10% or 20%, and use it for industrialization to create cottage industries, all the 724 local governments. Every month you bring out this, it will go this way, you share it. Before you know it, within 10 years, every local government is industrialized. But no, they go to share. They will not, today, as they go to share, they are one. They are not against the president again because they are going to share money. After sharing the money, then they can start talking against the president. So I want to say that any country that is not industrialized cannot develop. How can you empower people? It's empowerment in the pages of paper. We are used to say that, show me how to fish so that I can feed myself rather than bashing me fish. If you don't show me how to fish, if I cannot fish and feed myself, feed others, I'm not a fisherman. Please, as you are talking, I support you. Is there any way you can organize for like minds like you to meet together and see what we can do? Because if we leave this thing, our generation will go and it will continue against the world. Because every person now wants to be a politician because it's the only industry that is working in Nigeria. How can we come out of this quagmire? How can we come together and help the future? Because the future is what I think. As of now, everything is bad. We cannot help ourselves. Now it is future we're talking about. I would like to have your number, and I would like you to make an organization or call where some of us can be. There are many people who are eager to volunteer their time and talk and see what we can do. I have spoken for long, it has not worked. Many of us have spoken, it has not worked. What do we do now for it to work? That is next thing. And I want us to know that this country belongs to every one of us. It's an opportunity to be there. When you come down, remember that people will see you. And every one of us should not sell his voter's card. If you know you want to survive in future, why do you sell your voter's card? Why do you go to that day and vote any person that is not going to do well? Why is it that you go to nominate someone who will not do well? Then you say the country is bad. It is the problem emanates from we and to the top. And from the top now it's coming down to the bottom. God help us. Thank you.
Yeah, Grandpa, your contributions require a lot of intervention and interrogation. Let me just say that the Nigerian state as it is, the very structure of the Nigerian state is not conducive to industrialization. You don't industrialize on the basis of spreading cottage industries around 150 something local government. Believe me, the very structure of Nigeria is the very reason why Nigeria is not developing. So those who are talking about sovereign national conference are actually putting across a proposal that will bring the views of Grandpa and others on the table. Why are we not developing? What can we do? How is the present structure affecting us? For example, you go to Abuja, you share money to local governments that don't exist as a real entity of organizing human beings, don't exist as potentially even as agents of development. In fact, that their very existence is part of the reasons why you can never develop. You see, there are local governments, I don't need to say in the north or in the west or in the west, just say there are local governments that receive allocation, pay wages that don't make sense, and that is the pattern of their existing. And so all the resources they receive, 80% go into wages, the rest they know what they do with them. All those resources, in theory, are wasted resources. And so you have to then begin to imagine, in theory, how do you structure Nigeria so that the entities that are created are actually productive? The individuals who are earning wages that don't make sense and they are trapped in those wages. How do you liberate them? The issues are very touchy and delicate. Unfortunately, our governors, that's not their problem. What Prof is saying here is just talking grammar that should be said in university. You made a point about what we can do. I will address that shortly before I round up. Hello.
Hello, Prof.
Yes.
Dominic is my name.
Welcome, Dominic.
Nigeria, as I see, it cannot be repaired again, because now you say they should give loan to farmers. The big man will just go on his own, and then few of them will take the money, and then they say they have given loan to the people. So, I don't want to talk much. The white band, how do we get that white band? We need serious, strong revolution in this country. Very strong. Even if I die, all my family will not die off. We need people to make sacrifice for others to live a better life. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand.
So, how do we get this white band? We need a strong revolution in this country. That is all. Nigeria is finished. There is no way we can repair it. These big men will not allow us. Now you go for protest, now people will come say, you shoot them, kill them. That is the only way the Nigeria people are ruling, especially this present regime. So please, how do I get the white band? Please.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Everybody, remember our goal in this program is to raise political consciousness that will reach millions. What we're going to do with that consciousness, remember I said one thing after the other. You cannot jump if you have not started to walk. So we need to show evidence of commitment to what we are doing. And I have said we are completely at peace with ourselves, and no single violence is going to be involved. And that is why we must appreciate those who have made sacrifices. You know, I was telling one of my friends in Abuja that you people criminalize the people of the Niger Delta and call what you give them amnesty program. Do you know what is an amnesty? Amnesty is forgiveness to a criminal. So you criminalize them and you are giving them money called the amnesty, and they are collecting. Somebody is calling you a criminal and giving you money. Amnesty, I have forgiven you for your crime. So when you agitate, you become a criminal. When you become an activist fighting about the impact of or non-impact of crude oil on the lives of the environment from where they come, and you agitate to a level where there is instability, government comes to the program, calls it amnesty, and then they can't pay you money. I'm ashamed though to be involved in amnesty program. Me personally, I'm ashamed because I know the meaning of amnesty. If they call this youth empowerment program, maybe they will not be thinking of scrapping it. Because they call it amnesty, on their own mind, they're thinking how to end it. Whereas the problems are increasing, not reducing. And our own people joined in celebrating amnesty. Amnesty. They criminalize you, you still collect the money. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, well, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Fred. I'm calling.
Yes, welcome.
First, I commend your work. Really great. Nigeria has so many problems, and in every issue there is a root cause. Hello?
I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
For me, I believe or I know that the root cause of Nigeria's problem is colonialism. And Nigeria is not alone in this problem. Other African countries are also have their own share. That is why there is so much instability across Africa. These people who came to Africa and to Nigeria, they only care about their economic interests and expansionism reason. So they came, they loot, they pillage, they take everything that they think they want, and it's more, they are still taking it. So as we speak now, we are in an era that is called neo-colonialism, neo-colonial era, the era we are in now. The companies are all over the place. They make sure the man at the helm of every country in Africa does their bidding. That is why, from what I know, in Nigeria, 2015, it took the United States government and Obama and Cameron to install the person who has been in this country. They said in Jonathan, it's a record, and they foisted the man who is taking Nigeria down the pit today. As you see, Nigeria is on a free fall. So for me, the problem is the Western powers, and with their accomplice being the African leaders who are great, who are selfish, and who are wicked. What you see the governors did is exactly what the colonial masters were doing. So it's same pattern trickling down from colonial masters to the president of Nigeria and to the governors. The same thing. The structure we have today in Nigeria is kept in place and protected by Western power, not any power in Africa, by Western power. So I think in addressing these issues and seeking for social change, we should also look towards this area.
Thank you very much.
See how we can parallelly find a solution for Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, my friends, before I begin to round up, let me make some final departing remarks. The people bearing the brunt of the crisis of Nigeria society are predominantly the poor, the ordinary people. They are in the majority. I once asked here, we ban keke, we ban this, we ban that. Because I went to a country where if you want to ride bicycle, you ride. Their roads are managed in such a way that anything you want to like, you like trek, you like ride bicycle, you like ride keke, if you like ride bike, it's your business. Nobody controls any other person. And everybody was driving slowly and managing themselves. In New Delhi for that, let's not secret about it. And I came here, I noticed that one man wakes up and says, machine, move here. You don't move there. Do move there. And I was asking, if keke people wake up today and say that they don't want any other thing to move in Nigeria other than keke and block all the road, what will you do? You should go and shoot them. Oh, they don't have power to do that. It's about right, fundamental rights. The Court of Appeal in Benin has ruled that no government, no governor can just wake up and declare that this vehicle, keke cannot move, that cannot move. That was against fundamental rights of people. I don't know whether people know about that. A Court of Appeal ruling. Exactly the kind of thinking I have. If you're going to ban anybody, you provide alternative means of livelihood. You create alternative for everybody. Because how people survive, you don't determine. No. People struggle in Nigeria. Everybody's on his own. Government plays little or no role. That's the government will chase you through ban, no ban. Coercion. Not progressive policies. You see, not progressive policies. And our states, Rivers, Anambra, every state around is guilty of this I'm saying. Where we think that, oh, these people are the problem, they are not supposed to use road, even when we know that's where they are feeding from. We have not created industry, we have not mechanized agriculture, we are pushing them. Rochas was very famous for that, chasing people out of Owerri, as if it's the owner of Owerri. A city cannot grow above the level of income of his people. A city's living style, like I saw in New Delhi, is a picture of the economy of each individual in New Delhi. But here we want only people with jeeps, siren to use the road. Are we a siren people? How many people use siren in Nigeria? How many people drive jeeps? 8 jeeps follow you one person. That is not the purpose of government. My friends, you see, this white band thing, you know, it cannot come from me. It cannot come from us. It is an individual thing. That is why you just get a cloth white and tie it on. That's what I mean. I don't mean any special band. Maybe with time, when the resources are there, people can now begin to create fashionable ones. Just like Chelsea jersey, Just like, imagine how many people wear Arsenal jersey in Nigeria every day. How many people wore Kanu's jersey every day in Nigeria when he was active, or Thierry Henry. That's the kind of thing we are trying to say, that create signages, especially white band, to show the message, because that has nothing to do with violence. Don't be scared. I don't see anybody threatening you for that. If threats come, we deal with it. Remember, I've said nobody has called me to say, Professor Femi, it's time to stop your program. When they call me, I will come here, tell you people, and they will take a decision whether to obey or not to obey, because I'm a law-abiding citizen. I believe in lawful and peaceful coexistence, but progressive intellectualism should not be suppressed. That is what I believe. So we have set June 1. Remember, June 1. I will confirm what day June 1 is. I want it to be every week. It cannot be every day. Once a week until maybe the first Monday, the closest Monday to June 1 in June. We put on the white band by our left arm. Just get a white clean cloth, tie it, and then go out. If you can sew your own, you sew. Anyhow you can do it. Encourage people to do that. As we drive along the street and we are seeing people with white armband, tell people why you are wearing it. Carry a campaign, like a church campaign. Let it be massive. Once I see that thing, and we see that thing catching fire in Port Harcourt, we have prepared our message to reach Aba. We have prepared our message to reach Enugu. We have prepared our message to reach Bayelsa. That's what I want to see. Once that happens, there is no leader. I'm not the leader of anything. My own is a message. My own is a message. Nobody is the leader of Christianity. It's a message. Once that message starts catching fire, we will progress accordingly. I want to thank you for listening. I'm not sure I will be around next week. I will try. But if I don't make it, just know that it is work that is keeping me away from the studio. Take care.
I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
And
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the alarm is the one who made the public know about
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News.
Good afternoon. This is the World News at noon on your Premium Talk Radio. Today, 95.1 FM Port Harcourt. I am Kalada Korubatubo. Let's begin with the headlines. President Muhammadu Buhari mourns Chief of Army Staff Ibrahim Atairu and other senior officers. Late Chief of Army Staff Ibrahim Atairu and 6 other senior officers to be buried today. Chief Judge of Rivers State Justice Adama Iyayi Lamikara to retire from judiciary next week. On the foreign scene, first convoys of humanitarian aid arrive in Gaza hours after ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian militants. Stay tuned for the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed sadness over the death of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atairu, and other victims of the military plane crash in Kaduna. The late Chief of Army Staff was killed on Friday after a military Beechcraft 350 aircraft crashed at the Kaduna International Airport, claiming 8 lives on board. President Buhari, in a statement issued by spokesman Femi Adesina, said they paid the ultimate price for peace and security in Nigeria. He pledged that their death would not be in vain, condoling with the families of the late military general and Nigerians in general. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Army has announced the burial proceedings of the late Chief of Army Staff Ibrahim Atahiru and 6 other senior officers. The burial is to be held today in Abuja at the National Mosque and National Christian Center. This was announced in a statement signed by the Director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Mohammed Yerima. Governor of Rivers State Nyesom Wike says the medical scholarship offered to Rivers students by his administration is a deliberate policy intended to produce well-trained professionals that will enhance quality healthcare delivery beyond Rivers. The governor made the explanation at the 4th matriculation ceremony of Pamo University of Medical Sciences and Lenlenwo in Obiakpo local government area of Rivers State. Governor Wike said in the last 3 years, 100 students are awarded scholarship yearly to study medicine and other related courses at Pamo University, which is creating access to education for most indigent students. He said the state government is impressed with the founder and pro-chancellor of Pamo University, Dr. Peter Adeli, for the establishment of the institution that has developed within a very remarkable time to be a center of excellence in medical education with adequate capacity to produce medical doctors, pharmacists, medical technologists, and other healthcare professionals for the state and the country. Governor Wike said such initiative by Dr. Adeli and indeed any Rivers indigene is worthy of support from the state government, and thereafter announced additional 500 million grant to enable the management of the university put in place the necessary educational infrastructure. Some business owners in Port Harcourt have accused some task force members believed to be working for the River State Signage and Advertisement Agency of extortion. Speaking with Today FM's Ifunaya Obema-Ndukwe, the business owner said they were stopped by members of the task force for not having what they described as RISA stickers for their branded vehicles. The business owner said their vehicles were kept in the custody of the task force for 4 days after they were asked to pay as much as 100,000 naira. They called on the management of RISA to educate their men on the job to avoid constant harassment and intimidation.
They said that there is one of their sticker that is not with me, which is River State something. They said that I must pay 20,000. That the money we are paying is because we brought our fans, their compound, we must pay for it, whether we buy sticker or not.
All these London bad boys come out at Sigruta and take our motor to Rukoko Civic Center and say we should pay for RISA. They said that because they said right up on the border of our vehicle. So the people insisted that we should pay 45,000. So on the process that they impound our vehicle for 2 days, if you go to that their dump, you see some people they write just ordinary Jesus, then impound their vehicle. You write your name, ordinary your name, then impound your vehicle. You should come and pay 45,000. They don't know their work. They don't know what they are doing. Therefore, we call for the River State government to put eye into all these matters.
These guys collected my key, forcefully put me out of the vehicle. Then I said, it's a RISA sticker. They collected those documents from me. They drove the car to their office. Like, so you need to give us 100,000 now. At the end of the day, I have been able to come out with about 50K.
When contacted, the managing director of RISA, Anthony Oke, said companies with branded vehicles are expected to pay for outdoor advertisement but not to any individual account.
That is called mobile advert, and there is nothing like extortion. Like if you have the name of your radio station on your bus, it is called mobile advert, and it is in the law. It's not out of place. Just educate them. They should go to the office if they have any complaint for clarity. It is in the law. The owner of this vehicle is a transport company. They say they have been paying before to the person that was there before, where their office was in line. RISA don't have any office anywhere, and those people are not our staff. They are like sublet, they are like agents, and we profile them. So if we hear any complaint, we don't waste time to drop them. I try to let people know what they are right. If you have genuine reason, you come here, identify whoever. That is how to fight corruption.
The Chief Judge of Rivers State, Justice Adama Yayi Lamikara, is expected to exit the judiciary next week following her retirement. In a statement by the Chief Registrar of Rivers State Judiciary, the valedictory court session in honor of the retiring Chief Judge will hold on Tuesday, 25th of May, 2021 at the Chief Judge's ceremonial court hall within the High Court complex. The statement also added that the new Chief Judge is expected to take over despite the closure of the court by Judiciary Staff Workers Union Association of Nigeria. The paramount ruler of Ayama Ekede town in Andoni local government area of Rivers State, His Royal Highness King Bibama Ekpi Rikpo, has remained in captivity 5 days after his abduction by unknown gunmen. In a telephone interview, the son of the abducted royal father, Prince Jonathan Ekperikpo, narrated how the 92-year-old paramount ruler was kidnapped from his home. Ekperikpo, who expressed fears that the king may die in captivity, also wondered why the kidnappers would abduct a traditional ruler who is very aged, coupled with a medical condition that has placed him on routine drugs.
There was no any contact being established with the family. There was no any case from anybody. It's a free man, a man. Everybody can go to him, explain whatever. It's a man that is both sex, both the youth, the women, and the age. Does not have any issue with anybody. Cannot explain where the attacks come from. No such state yet, though. We are just appealing to wherever he is, whoever that took wherever they took him to. Those adults should release unconditionally. We are just appealing. I'm telling you honestly, he is surviving by drug.
Also speaking, the chairman of the Ayama Ekede Community Development Committee, Wari, in an interview with Today FM's Uchendu Ejowo, appeals to the abductors of the Andoni royal father to release him unconditionally.
I'm still waiting now. We are busy. Our phone is to make calls, looking for where we can get information. We are like me. I called. If they hear anything about this man, they let us know. Tell us where the man is, because after the time they kidnap the man is not even feeling fine. So we don't even know about our things that they should release the man, or they should inform us, tell us where the man is about. Is our problem now. So it's an elderly man, a man of we visited the police in our local government. We make entry. So they told us they will carry the fact down to Port Harcourt. They have made even the DPO visited the incident too. Police came. They visited the incident, came to the palace.
In the meantime, 3 suspected members of the rival court group have been killed in a court clash in Ajakajak community in Andoni local government area of Rivers State. Our source revealed that trouble started when the rival court group invaded the community and engaged another group whose members are resident in the community in a shootout. Our source said the shootout lasted for hours, with several persons sustaining various degrees of gunshot injuries. The Rivers State Commissioner of Police, Friday Ebuka, has been called to prevail on members of the People's Democratic Party in Ekpeye Kingdom to stop interfering in community and clan youths' elections. The PDP in the area has also been warned to stop using youth bodies in Ekpeye land as extension of party's youth groups to avoid unnecessary agitation and crisis. A youth leader in the area, Blessed Oyageri, who was reacting to a recent resolution of an electoral setup for the conduct of Upata youth election, described as unfortunate the situation where the PDP would allegedly hijack electoral process of the youth body. Oyageri called on the All Progressives Congress in Awuda to rise up to the occasion.
It is very unfortunate that youth election in Ekpeye land has turned an extension of PDP youth wing, which is very, very unfortunate. The elections in Ekpeye land today is being decided at the government house. It is very wrong for the youth of Ekpeye to bring in PDP politics. That PDP as a party decides who becomes a president, they decide who becomes a secretary, and Eleko in Ekpeye land. It is very, very wrong. I want to call on the sons and daughters of Ekpeye land to rise up and stand against this. In other ethnic nationalities in River State, there is no political interference. The people decide who they elect as their president. But in the case of Ekpeye, it is it is important to us as a people is to protect the interest of Ekpeye ethnic nation and not political interest. And I'm calling on Inspector General Police to prevail on PDP to stop interfering on youth matters in Ekpeye.
When Today FM's Uchendu Ejowo contacted the PDP chairman in Auda East local government area of the state, Amsin Ajile, over the allegation, he declined to comment. Meanwhile, youths in Upata Kingdom in Auda East local government area have faulted the dissolution of electoral committee set to conduct the youth election in the area by the council chairman Ben AK. The youth group under the aegis of Upata Youth Council also slammed the Auda East Council chairman for setting up a purported 7-man caretaker committee to oversee the affairs of the youth body. Briefing newsmen in Awude East area, the president of the Ukpata Youth Council, Alali Justice Livingstone, insisted that the electoral committee headed by Odum Chochi remains the authentic committee to conduct the youth election and urged members of the public to disregard the announcement by the council chairman.
The Opata Youth Council hereby condemns in strong terms such baseless dissolution and maintain that the electoral committee stance as such dissolution is in sharp contrast with the dictates of Opata Youth Council constitution. Let the general public therefore be aware that the so-called Akpasogwe Emmanuel-led caretaker committee is illegal and unconstitutional. They are further warned to desist from parading themselves as such to avoid a breach of the existing peace in Opata Kingdom and Ahoda East at large. We are therefore calling on the electoral committee led by architect Odum Chochi C to remain resolute in their mandate to conduct a free, fair, credible and peaceful election for the Opata Youth Council.
The Port Harcourt Zonal Head of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Chief Detective Superintendent Aliyu Naibi, has called on officers and ratings of the Nigerian Navy to join hands with the EFCC in tackling the menace of economic and financial crimes. Naibi made the call at the Nigerian Navy Intelligence School, Ubima, River State, while delivering a lecture on the history, roles, and organization of the EFCC for trainee officers and ratings of the Navy. According to him, the task of combating corrupt practices required collaborative approaches and the trainee officers and ratings, which would be useful in pushing the frontiers of the anti-graft fight. According to a statement by the EFCC head of media and publicity, Wilson Uwujaren, Naibi paid premium attention to the typology of economic and financial crimes being handled by the Commission, with a specific reference to emerging crimes like cryptocurrency fraud, Ponzi scheme scam, money laundering, illegal oil bunkering, among others. Some former leaders of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State are set to defect to the People's Democratic Party. Top on the list of the defectors is the former state chairman of the APC, Chief Davis Ikanya, and a former member of the House of Representatives, Igor Aguma. Rivers State Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Tambari Agbara, gave the hint in a statement. Gbara said arrangements to formally receive them into the ruling party in the state by Governor Nyesom Wike today had been finalized. Other former leaders in the APC who are expected to defect include Chief Ogbogbo Inamdi, Isobo, Chief Wisdom Wakama, and Alpine White. Alamese Martins Yellow, Ilamabo Mirila, Faye Franklin, and Paul Wankwala are also expected to move to the PDP. The Minister of Transportation, Chibike Amechi, has urged Oyo State government to join hands in putting infrastructures in place for the inland dry port in Ibadan. Amechi, who spoke during a meeting with the Oyo State Governor Sheyi Makinde at the Government House Ibadan, after his visit to the inland dry port site, stressed the need for access roads to service the dry port and the train station in Muniya or relinquish the project to another state on the route. According to a statement by his media team, the minister outlined issues hampering the construction of dry port and explained that if the issues are not fixed now for construction to commence, the pressure on Ibadan will be too much to handle when movement of cargoes from Apapa to Ibadan begins. The transportation minister said if Oyo State government is not ready, the project will be transferred to another state on the Lagos-Ibadan rail route, disclosing that Nigeria Shippers Council and the contractors have suggested a way. On his part, the Oyo State Governor Sheyi Makinde expressed the state's interest to participate in the project. The Presidential Amnesty Program says it has not made any university a first choice for prospective beneficiaries of its scholarship program. The interim administrator of Presidential Amnesty Program, retired Colonel Milan Dixon Dikio, said the clarification became necessary following a notice circulating on social media claiming that the Amnesty Office's new education policy mandates prospective candidates to make University of Africa Toru Orua their first choice when applying for the scholarship to qualify for the scheme. Retired Colonel Dixon Dikio, in a statement signed by Special Advisor on Media Tuabase Igbe, debunked the report. Dixon Dikio, however, said one of the criteria for the Presidential Amnesty Scholarship is that prospective beneficiaries must first enroll for and pass the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board JAM examination. The statement explained that the candidates must be ex-agitators captured in the program's database or come from one of the Niger Delta crisis-impacted communities. Dixon Dikio also said applications submitted would be subjected to background verifications and that candidates would go through a pre-qualification screening before being considered for scholarship, and that beneficiaries who failed to meet the qualification for formal education would be advised to consider vocational training. You are listening to the World News at noon on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign and sports stories. Please stay tuned.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
You're still listening to the World News at noon on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. Welcome back now to the rest of the bulletin. The Acting Inspector General of Police, Usman Babas, put the Commissioners of Police in the Federal Capital Territory and Plateau State on alert over imminent attacks by Boko Haram members. The alert was contained in a circular addressed to the two Commissioners of Police and signed by the Principal Staff Officer to the IGP, Idowu Owunwa. He said the intelligence report revealed that terrorists are planning to attack Abuja and Jos. In the circular, Baba directed the Commissioners of Police to review their security architecture and beef up security around government facilities, particularly in Abuja and Jos. A directive by the Nigerian Communications Commission asking Nigerians to submit the International Mobile Equipment Identity IMEI of their mobile phones to the Commission has sparked a nationwide outrage. This is as Nigerians remain unclear about the purposes of the directive. Some Nigerians took to the social media to urge the Commission to focus on how to track kidnappers and bandits who use their phones to contact families of victims to demand ransom. But reports said the directive is part of the new security measures to tackle crimes associated with mobile phones, especially phone theft crimes in the country. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, who in the past weeks was at the center of a raging controversy, was also under fire as many Nigerians vowed not to release their IMEI of their mobile phones. On the foreign scene now, the first convoys of humanitarian aid have arrived in Gaza hours after a ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian militants came into effect. Thousands of Palestinians returned home to scenes of devastation, with officials saying reconstruction might take years. The World Health Organization called for the creation of corridors for injured people to be evacuated. More than 250 people were killed in the 11-day conflict, most of them in Gaza. Both Israel and Hamas claimed victory. In southern Israel, residents celebrated the truce, but many expressed concern that another conflict in the region was just a matter of time. Elsewhere, India's national airline, Air India, has said a cyber attack on its data service affected about 4.5 million customers around the world. The breach was first reported to the company in February. Details including passport and ticket information as well as credit card data were compromised. But Air India says security details for credit cards, CVV or CVC numbers were not stored on the server targeted. It is not immediately clear who was behind the attack. The airline, a member of the Star Alliance network, said the breach involved all information registered between 26th August 2011 and 20th February 2021. In sports, a former Chief Judge of Lagos State, Justice Ayotunde Phillips, has been re-elected as a member of the FIFA Ethics Committee for another 4-year term in office. Phillips' re-election was ratified at the virtual 71st FIFA Congress held in Zurich, Switzerland. 209 members were entitled to cast their votes in the election, but 203 were counted as valid votes cast, 6 votes short of the total figure. To end the news, here's the summary of major stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has mourned the death of the Chief of Army Staff, Ibrahim Attairu, and other senior officers who died in a plane crash. The late Chief of Army Staff, Ibrahim Attairu, and 6 other senior officers will be buried today. You heard that the Chief Judge of Rivers State, Justice Adama Iyayi Lamikara, will exit the judiciary next week. And on the foreign scene, we also told you that the first convoys of humanitarian aid has arrived in Gaza hours after ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian militants. That was the news as edited by Ifunaya Obeme in the Quay. For comments and inquiries, please call 0818-389-2850 or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned to Today 95.1 FM. I am Kala Da Korubatbo. Good afternoon.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
I am a proud Nigerian. I have been placed here by God for a time such as this.
At my back, I ain't coming.
The degradation, challenges, and problems faced by Nigeria are the perfect backdrop for me to develop and utilize my God-given potential.
I will not complain. I will not criticize. Rather, I will use my skills, gifts, relationships,
and experience to find long-lasting and revolutionary solutions to the many challenges confronting Nigeria.
Nigeria will rise again.
Because I am here, I will leave this nation
a better place than I met it. I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth.
I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth. So help me God.
Let me tell you how I got this far.
This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
All right, good afternoon to you once again. I am Canada and I like to think of myself as the man of the people. Thank you for staying tuned to Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people, your premium talk or radio station. Now, I think in the course of the week, I mentioned in one of my Cut the Eye segment, the 4 o'clock hour, that the rains are here. I think it was yesterday, I think. And since the rains are here, it's only natural that we will expect flooding in certain areas, certain flood-prone areas, usually because they stand in the path of nature in other circumstances because the man that has been given authority over that area or that region is not done enough to make sure that flooding doesn't come. So yeah, there is man-made cause of flooding. And I remember asking the people in authority that I remember asking them that are they prepared? Have they put things in place to ensure that flooding doesn't really affect the people like we saw last year or the year before? Because currently we can all feel the economic breeze, so to say, and adding flooding to the already serious situation. But I'm going to let my guests in the studio introduce themselves. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm sorry. Good afternoon to you. Can you introduce yourself? Your name?
Okay. My name is Engineer Joseph Omie. I'm the chairman of First Avenue in Igbelu.
All right, and I hear that area is also being affected by flood. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Massive flood.
Massive. When you say massive, can you give us an overview?
Okay, like this morning before we left the house, look at me as tall as I am 6 feet